Guys, pardon the bad quality of the video and also the bad sound. I'm recording off of my laptop because most of this video is going to be me sort of narrating on my screen how I went about looking for the i3 that I wanted with the options codes that I wanted. A lot of times these options codes are a little bit obscure, that they do not show up on search engine filters. So you actually have to look it up with the specific VIN number on like an online decoder. So it's a really easy process. You just have to know where to look. And I'll go about and start doing that right now. So you should be seeing my screen right now. Here are just some of the notes that I took for the specific BMW i3 options codes that I wanted. So I really wanted kind of basically like 4 sets of codes, 5 at the time, and I'll explain in a second. So I really was turned on to the BMW i3 because you could enable these semi-autonomous driving features, which essentially in this car is an early version of autopilot. Not as good as Tesla's, but I definitely use it almost on a daily basis when I commute with the car. So I needed to have the car be enabled with adaptive cruise control, which the internal code for that is 5AT. I also needed to be enabled with park assist, which the internal code for that is 5DP. The entire park assist package is 5DU. So if you had a car that had adaptive cruise control 5AT and you had a car that had 5DU or 5DP, then you were pretty much guaranteed that you could enable the Traffic Jam Assist function. Now there are other things that you need to do to enable Traffic Jam Assist, and that's for a different video, but essentially these are the base things you need when you purchase a BMW i3, to where if you don't have these features, as far as I know, you can't enable Traffic Jam Assist at all. So some of the other features that I also wanted was 508, which is the parking sensors on the bumpers, front and rear. I believe they're sonar, and I really wanted those because, you know, it makes it a lot easier to park. And also I wanted the reverse camera, so the parking reverse camera. That's a 3AG option, and the park distance control is 508. I had thought at the time I wanted the real-time traffic information, so I did end up getting a car with it, with 6 AM. But I realize now I don't even use it. I'd much rather use the, you know, Waze or Google Maps or something. I just don't use, I found myself not using this at all. So anyway, the first step to this whole process is identifying, sort of narrowing down a list of cars that you want. So you can go to any old site, cars.com, Auto Tempest, or, you know, whatever other car site. In this case, used car site will help you kind of narrow down your search, right? So I just did a huge search here, BMW i3s and 841, but you're going to want to narrow it down based on the price range that you want, the year that you want, you know, whatever, color and all these other things. So once you get down to, let's call it that, you know, you found a car that you want, which might be this one. Say it's white, it has the 20-inch wheels, whatever. Then you identified that, you know, this is going to cost $19,600. However, in this case, like, there's very few like information that gets put in here. In this case, the seller was nice enough to put in, yes, it does have the park assistant package. Let's see if he mentions that you know, whether or not it has. Wow, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Driving assistant package. Okay, so this seller knows exactly what he's selling. However, the best deals that you can find, and this is how I found mine, are when the dealers don't take the time to sort of learn what kind of cars they're selling, or the individuals may not know what kind of car he or she is selling in terms of, you know, the specific packages, and they just have kind of a generic listing with just the VIN number, which in this case is down here, and they just have a VIN number, and you know, they post it online, right? So because that kind of seller may not know what he or she has, and, you know, no one can search for it, then it's very difficult to search for these types of things when you're kind of looking for, you're trying to narrowing down your list. So in this case, I'll show you guys an alternative method, and it was essentially the process that I put together. I was kind of doing this once a week when I was really diligent about trying to find my own i3. I paid a lot less than this, but actually, in fairness, I've started noticing that cars with the ability to do adaptive cruise control have actually gone up to around this price range. Maybe 6 months ago, you could find cars that had the driving assist and the parking assist for like way less than this. So in fairness, hopefully the system isn't that efficient yet, but let's just see. I'll show you guys how to do that. So if you find one, maybe on Craigslist, right? So if you find one on Craigslist and you found a VIN number and you're unsure because, these are more of the typical listings, right? They don't really tell you much. And on Craigslist especially, there's no way for you to search whether or not that car has parking assist or adaptive cruise control. It's like super impossible. So I tend not to rely on the data elements to tell you what the car has. I just copy the VIN number. I look for a BMW decoder, and I try to find my favorite one. And I've tried a few of these. I remember trying one of these, but I ended up using decoder.bvzine.com, which is this guy. And when you pull it up, it does look like a spam kind of, a little bit of a shady site, but it actually works really well. And because I've used this so much, maybe you can click on some of these to help support the fella who puts this together and kind of help get his server bills paid. But just to show you, I copy and paste. I paste the VIN number there. Don't press this start. Just hit enter. And once you hit enter, it will display the information on that specific vehicle, right? Because the VIN number is a vehicle identification number. That's a unique ID for just that specific vehicle. So you will find that you'll have a bunch of different codes. Some of these may not mean anything to you, but if you search online for all the specific vehicle codes that's actually, any i3 could come with, they do have databases out there. They'll tell you all the specific vehicle codes that these are internal BMW vehicle codes, by the way, and what they mean. Okay, so in this case, what I'll do is, obviously, I don't know at this point if this car has the options that I need. So I just kind of went through my system. I did a control find to try to find 58T, which in this case is this one, adaptive cruise control, and do a kind of global search within that document. So hit enter. I have 0 of 0 search results, right? So obviously, there's probably a reason why this guy is as cheap as it is. 15,000. It's got pretty low miles too, I think. Yep, 25,000. But you can see the price difference, right? This one is a $15,000 car, and yet this gentleman here who posted this car knows exactly what he has, and it's the same mileage. Where was that? Basically the same mileage, and he's asking for much more. Okay, so you will, I guarantee you, if you just are diligent, you will find those kind of gems or needle in a haystack things, which is exactly how I find mine. I was just a little more diligent about it. So let me just cut to the chase, and I'll show you guys how to search for specific options. Let me copy this, and I will put this in the Finder. Hit enter. It'll go through a search. Now I just want to search for 58T, and there you go. This one has the Driving Assistant Plus, and I can even see right here 5DP. There you go. So this one has 5DP, which is a parking assist. So in essence, this car is 5DU here. Yep, 5DU is right at the top, parking assistant package. Based on memory, I don't think I've ever found a car that has only one of these. I think to have park assist, you have to have the park assist package. But that's just kind of a side note. So essentially, that's how I went about searching for the i3 that I wanted. And then, you can go deeper into the rabbit into the rabbit hole here and look for 508 or whatever options code that you want. 508, and there it is. It has park distance control, which are the parking sensors, the PDC parking sensors. Okay, so that's kind of it, guys. Let me think if I could help you with anything else. But I guess not. In general, those are the items that I was searching for. And hopefully that helps you guys find the i3 that you want. Okay?